and mention a multitude of players, and not one of them is Caitlin Clark, who, by the way, is a rookie leading the league in assists. How do you do that? I told y'all that. I've argued with the great Andrea Carter, outstanding analyst for ESPN, right here on this podcast. I've argued with Janae Ogumake, who's an outstanding basketball analyst, and Monica McNutt, one of the preeminent voices of the New York Knicks, and what she's doing with her career. They know they got my support, all love. But I'm waiting for you to say I was right. Caitlin Clark can ball. She should have been on TV.
When someone realizes they are happier outside an environment than inside it, money stops being the main motivator. Sports history is full of elite athletes who walked away early once the environment became unbearable. Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, Andrew Luck. None of them needed the money, and all decided peace was worth more than legacy debates. Caitlin Clark is already in that position. She has the financial security. If she decides that peace matters more than appeasing a league in chaos, no CBA negotiation can prevent that choice. Her rejection of Unrivaled adds a layer of irony that borders on poetic. That league was marketed as the solution, a domestic alternative where players could earn real money without going overseas, and landing Caitlin Clark was supposed to unlock major TV deals. Stephen A. strongly implied this wasn't accidental. Clark understands leverage far better than many give her credit for. By simply withholding her participation, she reinforces her value. If Unrivaled struggles without her, it confirms what critics have been saying all along: the public is showing up for Caitlin Clark specifically, not for women's basketball as an abstract concept. That truth makes people uncomfortable, but discomfort doesn't change reality.
Right? The Indiana Fever star was named Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year earlier this week, and she took time to acknowledge that race played a role in her success this year. Here's a passage from the article in Times Magazine. Quote, "I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. A lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been black players. This league has been built on them. The more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, I think it's very important. I have to continue to try to change that. The more we can elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing."
And that timing is what makes the opt-out so unsettling. Why now, at the exact moment when momentum finally felt fragile but real? Officially, the explanation is clean and defensible. The players want a new model that reflects growth, higher salaries, better pensions, improved standards, real security. None of that is unreasonable. But underneath it all sits a quieter motive: fear. Fear that this moment is temporary. Fear that the hype could cool as quickly as it arrived. Fear that if they waited, the leverage would slip away. The irony is brutal. In trying to lock in the moment, they may be destabilizing the very thing that created it. Casual fans do not operate on loyalty or obligation. They tune in because something feels electric, because it feels culturally relevant, because it feels like now. If the league stumbles into a lockout or delays a season, those fans will not organize or boycott in protest. They will simply change the channel and never come back. That is the risk the union seems willing to take, and it is a risk built on a misunderstanding of how attention works. Stephen A. made the uncomfortable comparison that no one wanted to hear but everyone understood. Magic and Bird were marketed relentlessly because the league needed them to survive. Competitive balance and philosophical fairness came later, once the NBA was stable enough to afford them. The WNBA is in a similar inflection point, whether people want to admit it or not. Pretending otherwise does not make it less true. Insisting that every player deserves equal shine regardless of impact is not moral clarity, it is business denial. Revenue does not care about intention. It follows attention. And when the union pushes for equal outcomes while refusing to acknowledge who is actually driving growth, it sends a chilling message to sponsors and partners that reality itself is negotiable. Sponsors tend to respond to that message the same way every time, by quietly stepping back. That is the danger here. Not that players want more, but that the strategy ignores the fragile mechanics of momentum. Growth that is still dependent on a single engine cannot be treated like a mature ecosystem. And the longer leadership refuses to admit that, the more they risk learning the lesson the hardest way possible, by watching the moment slip away while everyone argues over how it should have been shared.